Hello and welcome back to the channel for another college tier review. Today we'll be taking a look at Transformers the movie Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Brawn. It's great to finally see some of these less mentioned characters from the original Transformers franchise finally ending up in, I would say, long-deserved Studio Series form. And this guy is definitely a really great representation, the best representation in my opinion that we've ever seen of this character in the main line. I got mine over from All Time Toy Store. Check out the link in the description below to get yours. And as always, if you are new to the channel, please remember to subscribe. And if you're recurring, I really appreciate those likes and continued support. So let's get straight into this review. And before we take a look at the figure, display base, just have a look at the box real quick. Nice artwork of Brawn there on the front. Definitely stylized more from the cartoon, obviously. Brawn, you can see images with alt mode, lots of writing, that's about it. And the box comes with this nice display stand. There, looks really nice. Nice wide panels that you get from Studio Series are always great. You get the scene, of course, where he dies. Starscream comes in, Decepticons blast the poor, unsuspecting Autobots to bits. So, can relive some of that childhood trauma if you remember seeing that movie when it came out, or just for the first time like I did. And, you see all these Autobots that you've come to love just be blown away. But nonetheless, here is the figure himself, and you can see already excellent paint applications on this figure. There are, of course, instructions, by the way, very easy to follow if you don't read them upside down. Pretty simple transformation for this figure, but definitely it does the job. You can see nice silver on those forearms. You get the nice blue paint on the windshield, which we'll get into more in car mode. You can see the Autobot symbol there, and this yellow paint used all throughout looks fantastic. More silver there on the shins, but very, very nice looking figure. Indeed, very good representation of this character from the cartoon. He does, of course, include a blaster molded in black plastic. It is blast effect compatible, which is awesome. So you can get him in some action poses as he's being shot, trying to shoot back one final stand against the Decepticons. Then you do also, that is all for accessories. And this guy is definitely loaded when it comes to articulation. So you do only get a swivel at the head due to the nature of the design. He's these really broad, almost like long hair is always how I've kind of viewed it coming down. Now that I've said it, you won't be able to unsee it. By the way, take a look at that head sculpt. It's really nice. Blue eyes and silver face there. Then at the shoulders, do get full range of motion out of the ball joint. Do get a swivel at the bicep, way past 90 degrees out of the elbow on a single joint, which is fantastic. And you do get inward motion on the fist from transformation. Then out of the waist, you do get a full waist swivel, which can turn the whole way, obviously. It does just start kicking into his backpack there, which we'll touch base on in a minute. Then you can do splits, kick forward that far, kick back until you hit the backpack, so not very far. Nice, just about 90, not quite out of the knees. Thigh swivel, of course. Then you do get really good ankle rock, and the toes and heels can articulate independently due to transformation, but it is also very good for posing. Then yes, he does have a backpack. Definitely a little more than what we saw in the cartoon, but I still don't think it is crazy unreasonable. It is a little bit annoying. It doesn't really tab in any way, just kind of sits there. But if you needed to get more range out of the legs, you can just move it out of the way to get that range. So, not the best in the world, but certainly by far not the worst. And this guy's nice and solid, nice and durable, feels great. So, definitely a nice Studio Series release. Indeed. Let me pull out some guys for comparison. Here we have the Netflix Bumblebee, Studio Series Ironhide, and of course Earthrise Optimus Prime for comparison. You can see him next to his fellow mini-bot, being Bumblebee. See they scale pretty nicely with one another. Brawn's definitely a little bigger, as he should be. Bumblebee's always considered the smallest of the Autobots. And then here he is with Ironhide. They scale pretty nicely with one another. Ironhide's definitely much bigger Autobot there. And then of course we have the Mighty Prime. So you can see Prime definitely as expected, dwarfs a mini bat. So there is that comparison. Come on, Brawn, stay up. What's up, bro? I think they look pretty great together. And for those of you who did miss out on the Earthrise Optimus Prime release, I would imagine they will be releasing a Studio Series version of him for Studio Series 86. I really hope so. I would love another version of this mold. I think this is one of the best modern Optimus Primes of all time, so it would be really fun to get some more of this character, because every version that's been released of this mold has been exceptionally elusive. But nonetheless, let's get to transformation. Get these guys out of the way. And all right, so this guy is pretty straightforward, as I was saying, not too much to it. So just want to flip fists inside, rotate around, flip the fists inside, rotate around, come to the backpack and just straighten this all out like so. Just leave it at 90 degrees for now. And now this is probably the only step that I always forget. It's to rotate the waist around. So I just like to do that first. Then you come to the chest, pull this out. It's easiest to rotate the head now that you have it away from this back piece, just because it's easier to do it now. And then you want to rotate this whole front piece around. Go ahead and take these side pieces, rotate them down on these hinges, and at the same time pull the arms down, and then you can just rotate all of this up and form the side windows. You do get tab slot connection in the arm, so slots here, the tabs are on this arm, so it's pretty foolproof, I would say. If you're just working on lining those tabs up, you'll get the arms in place, no problem. Then you want to take the head, just close that up, so now you have part of the truck done. Next you want to come to the legs. This forms the whole side, so you want to take the feet, close the feet up, then come to the inside of the legs and just attach them, extend out on the double joint of the ankle there. Then you do get these little tabs here that kind of rest in the slots under his fists there. So just rest one in, rest the other in, and then rotate all this around about this hinge, the top, kind of the knee there, and then this all slots inside of the hole in here, and then you got a tab here that goes into a tab up here. I don't tab the sides in though until I have both together, so then I can just squeeze them together, get them nice and tight in there. There's also a second tab in here on each side that tabs in, and I'd like to keep the front squeezed as I do this next part. So you take these two tabs, they slot into the legs on the insides here, just above the fenders, each side. Just slot that in. Inevitably one of the front will come undone while doing this part. Just want to slot that in. And then come down here, you get these two slots for these tabs. And just squeeze that in, and then this side on mine always likes to pop out during that step. Let's give it a nice squeeze, everything will tab right together. And here we have Brawn in his Jeep inspired mode, I believe is what it's supposed to be. Actually did not tab in this back all the way. There we go. Brawn in his Jeep mode. You can see the nice Autobot symbol there on the front. Now you can see all the front silver grille detailing. It's really nice. Would have been nice if these lights were also picked out in silver, but still looks pretty good. He would have a visible head if you don't turn it around. You could leave it facing the other way, I believe, but instructions tell you to turn around. You can see the underside. Nice silver wheels. They are pinned on, but he does roll perfectly, no problem. Unfortunately, no blue paint on the back. That would have been nice, and maybe some tail lights as well, but certainly not too shabby. Looks pretty nice. There are a few gaps in there, but I think it looks really good. You can store the weapon on the spare tire on the top. It's a 5mm port, which I think this looks actually kind of cool. We have him with his gun on top. So now bring in those Autobots back for some vehicle mode comparisons. And here we have Brawn compared along the three same Autobots. So here he is with Bumblebee and Alt mode. Let's see, look pretty good together. You know, being a Jeep, you should definitely be bigger than a Volkswagen Bug. So there's that comparison. About the same length, but definitely Brawn's a good bit wider. So that looks good there. Then next to a van, it should obviously be smaller than a van, so I think this scale length works pretty well too. Long side Ironhide and a long Prime. Prime is definitely, you know, it's close. It's a close comparison. Definitely a little big to be compared to Prime, or Prime's a little small in truck mode compared to these guys. I mean, next to Ironhide, you can see, you know, Prime's definitely a little too small. But nonetheless, still looks pretty good. He's still bigger than all of those bots, so looks good. Now, if you're wondering if Brawn fits inside Optimus' trailer, not with the trailer closed. You could have obviously opened the trailer and just put Brawn in there, but you cannot actually close the trailer around Brawn and drive off with the trailer closed. You can fit Bumblebee in there, but not Brawn. So that is that for vehicle mode comparisons. So overall, yeah, I think this is a phenomenal release from Studio Series. Another great lineup to the edition to complement our already fantastic Ironhide figure. I think this is currently one of my all-time favorite Studio Series figures to date. We'll see with some of these Rise of the Beast characters. There's some pretty good figures that have come out, but at least in terms of G1 Studio Series figures from Studio Series 86 release, this is definitely, I think, still my favorite. Once I get Ratchet, that might top this release, but I do really like this mold. I think it's some incredible engineering. I also do really like Hot Rod, but this is kind of an all well-rounded vehicle mode from Ironhide. But anyways, if you haven't seen that review, go watch it. But I think this guy is definitely a nice compliment to that lineup, and I highly recommend this figure. Again, check out the link in the description to get yours from All Time Toy Store, and I'll see you in the next review. Until then, have fun, play with Transformers, and stay safe. Thanks for watching.